So Caroline, we're here just to look back over the last year of NES and a little bit into the future and pick out some key points. I thought we'd start off by picking up something that's really important to NHS Scotland, and that's health and social care integration, which has been going for some time. But over the last year we've seen the integrated joint boards set up, all that implies, new organisations and so on. We've been working for several years with Scottish Social Services Council. I think about the work we've done on dementia, with Alzheimer's Scotland as well. So we've got quite a track record on this. But what do you see as the real challenges over the last year and perhaps taking us forward here?
I think that's right. We have a great track record of working with the Scottish Social Services Council, the SSC. But I think over the last year we've seen the new IJBs really start to get together, start to develop their schemes of integration. And that's given us an opportunity to start to relate to those new organisations. So we've been involved in a process of appreciative inquiry with a number of them, which has been quite an in-depth process of looking at particular issues in their locality, and hopefully enables them to use that sort of technique for continuing to examine issues on their own in the future as well. We've also developed a governance guide for IJBs, which I think will be very helpful to them. And I think going forward, one of the key things that's emerging is around leadership and the need for leadership development for the people who are coming together and having to work in a really very different way and across different cultures.
Yeah, and we have a very important role to play in leadership development across the NHS, the wider public sector, and that's changing. I mean, the requirements of leaders in this new world is very different. You and I both sit on the National Leadership Board, a new entity that's taking this forward in Scotland. What do you think the real challenges for us in NES are in terms of leadership?
Yeah, I think that the new leadership board gives a real opportunity for us to look at what we can best join up across health and social care. So I think we already have really well established and well evaluated programmes of leadership that we run from NES in health, but we've already opened those up so that they're not just available to folk who are coming from a health background, they're now available to people from across the different sectors. And I think that's really important in bringing new experiences into. And for me, I think the biggest thing that we've got to get involved excuse me, in is helping people to join up across the different sectors and helping them to build those relationships, helping them to understand where the people are coming from and what the different backgrounds mean in terms of their leadership challenges.
Because increasingly, actually achieving what we need to for people in Scotland, and that's really what we're all about, better services, for instance, it's much more about influencing the way in which people work, the command and control, the authority that you had in days gone by, it really is becoming a thing of the past. So it's a new way of working.
It's a very new way of working, and it means people interacting across cultures that are probably quite different from the ones that maybe they've had their leadership journey in so far.
Yeah. Just shifting a little bit onto something that's been big for us, and is big for us, and that's about medical education and the fact that for the last 18 months we have had a single Scottish deanery rather than the 4 separate Scottish deaneries that we had previously. We still have deans across Scotland relating to territorial boards, but there's quite a shift in the way that education of doctors in the service is being regulated, for instance, by the GMC. We have shifted to the single Scottish deanery. What do you see as the main benefits of that, particularly looking back over the last 18 months?
Yeah, I think there are enormous benefits for us, and there's been a lot of work involved in that as well, because the benefits are driven out of us moving to single systems and single ways of working across the whole of Scotland, rather than systems that were very much embedded in four localities. And what that, I think, for our trainees means is that they can expect that their journey through training will be managed in exactly the same way, regardless of where they happen to be training in Scotland. It gives us efficiency savings and improvements in the quality of what we do. And it also gives us an incredible resource around the data that we hold. So we've now got much better, higher quality data about where our trainees are, what they're doing, what their views are about the training environment that they're working in. And that gives us the ability to join that up with data from other sources, such as the General Medical Council, and we can start to track what's happening to the supply of that medical workforce. So we can look at what's happening between undergraduate and going into foundation year training, what's happening between foundation and core medical training, and then what happens between core medical training and specialist training. And I think that's invaluable information in terms of starting to plan much more effectively for the supply of doctors for the future.
And that's been immensely helped by our own programme of digital transformation internally,
Yes.
which we're starting to see the benefits from. It's a journey we're on, but we haven't finished. I suppose the final thing I just wanted to say was a big thank you to you, and recognising in saying thank you to you that you stepped in as the interim chief executive last November. Malcolm Wright has now left us and gone to NHS Grampian, and the board itself. I would want to acknowledge the immense help that I've had from my board and from executive colleagues over the year. So, thank you.
Thank you.